Alright, hey everybody, this is Purge, and we are now casting MUFC versus Neolution. I am here with Luminous, and it is quite early in the morning for us, but we are having a great time.
We are manning it up, or super manning it up, as I like to say. And this is the fourth game we're casting for the Malaysia Dota2 Invitational. How are you feeling?
I'm getting more tired as time goes on. I probably should have pounded more Dr. Pepper at the probably like the 12 to 1 range. I started pounding at like 9 to 10, and I was feeling great when we were playing chess, but now I'm starting to get sleepy. This
is the toughest time, man. 3 in the morning.
Yeah, if I would have kept the caffeine going, I think I'd be fine right now, but I think this is probably for the best. I'll just do slightly tired casts for the next 2 hours, and then when 5 rolls around, I'm going to just hit the sack for 2 hours. And then feel less... At least I'll be able to fall asleep is my point, I guess.
Right. For the people that are just joining us, this is Neolution versus MUFC from the losers bracket. MUFC got sent here by, I believe, Mineski? I think that's correct. And we definitely casted Neolution versus Orange.
Versus Orange.
Right.
Yeah, so this is going to be the quarterfinals. Whoever wins this goes into the quarterfinals of the losers bracket, who still has quite a few matches to play. But we have one more match after this one tonight. I believe we'll probably end up casting... I don't know. Maybe we'll cast the next MUFC game, and that's going to be against Mineski, I think. Which should be a really good game, depending on whoever wins this, of course. But it's going to be elimination. This is an elimination match. I believe this is the first elimination match we've casted. Whoever drops out here is pretty much out of the tournament, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a lot on the line here. And pretty interesting bans, surprisingly. Not only does Windrunner make it into the first round bans, but also a Chen Enchant. People just scared of MUFC's micro. I know one of those players on there just plays a disgustingly good Enchantress or Chen.
I'm personally more scared of Furion because he just gives you so much more option. In terms of laning, we definitely see him being put in the solo lane. He can go into jungle. We're definitely more familiar with that. He can come out as a ganker. He can come out as a more of a mid-game farmer. It's just with the Furion, you never really know what he's going to do. All you know is he's gonna be annoying in terms of ganking you and pushing you, which is two things that really fit what's going on right now. And I'm surprised that Night Stalker get delayed up to this stage.
Yeah.
Radiant picks it up, and I'm not liking MUFC's chances because look at how tanky their hero is. The stuns and the mobility is gonna be up to Dire. I feel like Dire have to really outplay the Radiant to really get those two tanky hero killed.
Yeah, and kind of surprised that we saw Slaughter as the second pick out of Neolution. Definitely could be very, very interesting to see how that impacts the game. They don't have a lot of survivability, like you said, and heroes like Night Stalker and Slaughter diving on Rasta or Nature's Prophet is definitely going to be dangerous. And MUFC is going to ban an Earthshaker, which would fill in their stunning, a little bit more stunning for them, and another support role. And Neolution going to be ban out a Broodmother to stop a little bit more pushing options for MUFC.
Yep. I actually haven't been too following Dota 2. Haven't been following Dota 2 too much. Can you tell me a little bit about Broodmother? Like, we definitely know she's a strong hero in Dota 1, and maybe is it because there's not many counters to her in Dota 2 that she gets auto-banned?
I mean, I've seen Sand Kings lane against her. I don't think that's ever going to change.
Right.
But in a lot of ways, I've seen no difference in banning or play of Broodmother than I have in Dota 1. That hero pretty much carried over. Once he got in the pool, he started getting banned or picked. Gets banned more than he gets picked, I think, is definitely the best way to describe it, but he usually does still get banned, either first round or second round, including European teams. It seems like everybody values Broodmother very highly, so enough to ban him. So
I see. Okay. And well, that is. I'm surprised that no one picked it up, kind of, because I think we've been seeing Brood bans kind of stable so far in every game, and no one picked it up. So we'll have to wait and see. Mirana's going to be the third hero choice, and we're going to see Venomancer. Venomancer being constantly banned here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he provides so much AoE teamfight, pushing, defending against the push, slows, good early game roam. Late game, he gets fairly tanky. Sometimes we see kind of like a Vanguard mecha Arcane Boots kind of supportive role, so he gets pretty good utility play from there as well. So decent ban. Tidehunter gonna get banned. So right now we're seeing really tanky heroes on Radiant. They could continue with that trend and pick up some other tanky. I mean, there's tanky supports available, such as Twin Head Dragon. That's fairly tanky. But I think they're gonna go with a little bit more traditional / stapler, more stable heroes, and round out what Slaughter and Night Stalker does best, which is chase and kill. These two heroes are kind of best in the business for doing so. But Dire says we're gonna keep picking stuns. We're fine with that.
Wow, and you're absolutely right. They're going to go for more tank support heroes, and it's going to be a Sven. I expect him to play as a support. We may even see, probably not going to see a roaming Lich Sven combo. I'd be really surprised. But Sven not really used very much in my experience of casting Dota 2. I think Lion is a great pick. He's such a good hero. The only downside is they don't necessarily, I guess they're going to have to jungle the Nature's Prophet at this point. And maybe put Shadow Shaman mid and Lion somewhere else, unless they play him as a support, which is also a possibility. And just having him is really, really useful, especially with the Shadow Shaman. I mean, both of those two heroes have a crapload of disable, and that is going to basically give them a lot of option against heroes like Slardar and Night Stalker until they get their BKBs.
Yep. It is going to be ganks versus tanks, and I don't know who is going to prevail. It seems like we're going to see some type of trialing of Sven, Slaughter, Lich coming out from the Radiant team. Do you see anything else? I guess it really depends on the last pick, right?
Yeah, that would be my guess. Unless they somehow get a jungler, maybe like an Enigma or something.
Right, or if they like pick a Crystal Maiden here or something like that, that's going to throw it off. I'm assuming that Radiant team's going to pick up a solo, and I'm always really curious to see how a Lich and a Tri-Lane is being played, because obviously you pick up Sacrifice in any other given situation to kind of slowly win yourself the lane. But when you're going for a Tri-Lane Lich, I guess you have to get the Nova Blast at 1 for that killing. But I guess I'm just still dare crafting too much before we see the last pick. How do you feel the laning from the Dire would be coming in?
Dire, I'm gonna predict. I really feel like they're gonna have to lane or jungle the Nature's Prophet. I guess they could do a 2-1-2 lane as well. They could do like that's not very common with Nature's Prophet though. If they lane him, they almost always are going to solo him. In which case they'd have to do they could do Avenged Lion Potom tri-lane, but Lion not the best tri-lane hero. But they could do that. I think they might be likely to do a Nature's Prophet jungle, solo Shadow Shaman, dual lane the Priest of the Moon, and solo the Lion. That's what I would do, I think.
We'll have to see. MUFC definitely love the trial. It's going to be a Lesh.
Cool.
Wow. I'm hoping a solo Lesh or trialing of the 3 I just said, but we might see a solo Lich instead, and then a Lesh trialing. That's definitely possible.
I know what they're doing. They're going to solo the Lich top. They're going to put Night Stalker mid. They're going to put Slar bottom, and they're going to roam Sven with Leshrac. Similar to a
You're calling it?
Arena.
You're calling it right now. The items are looking
look
really.
At it. Look at Lesh already bought a smoke. You know
Boots?
It's happening.
Yep, it's happening. Damn. How do you know?
Because Leshrac is pretty much the same as Lina, except the ulti is different in a lot of ways. The stun is hard to land, but it is still 2 seconds. But people generally prefer to go for Lina over the Leshrac. But I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a lot of roaming, and if they can, they're going to outgank the gank and or outgank the push. Possibly, especially with Night Stalker. So if they can get some really good ganks off with Sven and Leshrac in their early laning experience, it can be really, really advantageous to their mid game.
Perch, I'm gonna let you finish, right? But I'm really impressed with that read. But
Really?
not as impressed with my blind guess on Yamate getting a haste ring. Oh.
I guess that's true.
That's too good. You can't top that.
I can't. I could guess. I could be. Not only was the rune top, but it was also a haze.
All right, let's talk about who's playing what. Of course, best nickname there is, Nick, on that Night Stalker.
Most complicated.
Gonna be Da on the Lich. Gonna be Gio on the Lesh. Sven being handled by Marsh, and then of course Su on the Slaughter.
And these Treants being really annoying, scouting things out. For the Dire team, Sharky is going to be playing the Mirana. We have KYXY on the Shadow Shaman on the top lane. TT.net playing the Vengeful Spirit. And finally, 2.FG playing the line. And one other hero, Ling, is going to be playing the Nature's Prophet.
Yep. Yep, and looks like this is going to be that dual lane that you kind of suggest. Lion getting the farm, being supported by the Vengeful Spirit on the top. It's going to be KYKX on the roster mid, and he's probably one of the stronger solo mid players for MUFC. And Sharky on the bottom being supported by... No, there's no support. Yeah, in the jungle. Sorry, I completely missed that. So, this is MUFC is my team, my pick for the win for the entire tournament, but they are facing elimination here. So with the picks, how do you feel they're in the disadvantage in the picks?
I think MUFC is in the disadvantage currently. I mean, there's going to be a gank coming on the Rasta. We're going to get a 2-second stun from the Split Earth, and a Void is going to steal the kill. And Rasta knew he was screwed there. And I think we're going to keep seeing this happen, basically. I really think that Neolution has the better picks here. Lich is denying CS on line. Not a huge loss there, but a line Venge lane with ganking from Furion isn't that super amazing. If they shut down Lich, big deal. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Right. I mean, with the Furion in jungle, I feel like just from the experience myself playing him, you never really have enough mana to go gank, because you have to use a tree into tank and they take so much mana. So you don't expect a gank from the Furion anytime soon. If he does go for the gank, then his farm will really get shut down. Just by participating in the ganks. But I guess what the thing is going well for him right now is that Sharky, despite being in the tough lane, is getting quite a bit of level, because the 2 support's not really creep equilibrium enough, not really doing the pulls. So he is hitting a decent level, and that's going to be at least okay, because Lich on the top lane definitely going to hit a decent level due to sacrifice.
Yeah, really nice tree management coming out of the Sven, and while not going to get a leap off, Mirana easily picked off. That was really cool. He ran to the siege, the side shop there, and he ate a couple trees through so that he could come around behind the Mirana and get that first stun off. And she didn't even get a leap off, so I don't know if she was looking somewhere else or something, but a slight misplay by Sharky there.
Yep, so 2 kills going right in favor for Neolution, and they might just be the team knocking out MUFC out of the tournament. MUFC again finishing 4th in SMM, taking WCG Asia #1 in both Dota 1 and Dota 2 tournament. And this is, I mean, Neolution definitely the underdog here, but maybe outpicking MUFC quite a bit.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Sven actually roaming towards the top lane here. Leshrac staying behind. That was the problem with their roaming at the beginning of the game, is they missed the easy stack pull, and as a result, Priest of the Moon actually getting decent EXP. They made up for it with that good gank, but she's currently level 3, doesn't have any arrows left, or quite yet, and Leshrac going to get a little bit of solo EXP here, and hopefully pick up some fast boots and get a little bit better at ganking as a result.
Yep. If you look at the Dai wards, you definitely see that Dai was expecting some sort of a tri-lane top, because given that they do have Observe ward on the top river, but the ganks are definitely coming in from the bot side. So I think they were hoping, wishing, guessing that there's going to be a Lich solo bottom, but that's not going to be the case. Bottom ganking the mid lane. What the heck is that about? He's going to get stunned. He's going to get Void. Can he leap out? Fine. No nukes being attempted on her. A little bit surprised in that. But yeah, a lot of times we do see tri-lanes, or excuse me, long lanes heroes are like, you know what, I'm not going to get any farm either way. Let me actually participate gank, but that did not produce in any result.
Yeah, it's really hard for those to be effective, especially on heroes. Even like Puck, stuff like that. Puck is just worthless before he hits level 6. Priest of the Moon can make stuff happen, but she didn't even have an arrow there. Was just kind of wishful thinking in a lot of ways. And will she be in danger again? Leshrac's actually going to pick up a double damage, or at least have vision of it. And they're going to be swinging up, trying to take out the Priest of the Moon, but they will have vision. It is daytime, so it's going to be pretty hard to get any disables off on Mirana without her seeing it coming.
Yeah, she's gonna be fine in her tower. Roster being really brave. They're just gonna waltz down on the bot lane, missing 2 here on the mini map. Just gonna go grab the rune. Wow, he was really lucky. He could have just got picked off at the rune spot. Looks Slarda just being really deep against Sharky. Sharky still holding onto the leap, which is a pretty decent move, because with bottom you have a long cooldown with that level 1 leap. And whenever you get baited out leap early, and as a bottom player, I do that more often than not, you're going to be in huge trouble. He does leap the Stormbolt, but the Slaughter comes in with a crush. Split Earth is going to be right there, and another easy kill being picked off. And we talked about Dire team having more mobility, but it seems like it is going to be the Radiant team picking up all these early game kills.
Yeah, and this all got kind of tangled up as a result of the this Sven Leshrac pick at the end. definitely not something I expected by any means. Even Sven was very unusual, and the fact that they went once again for Leshrac over Lina. Another thing I want to point out that's pretty peculiar is the fact that Leshrac is actually going for Stun Lightning, essentially doing a magic nuke role, which Lina can fulfill very easily. In my opinion, I feel like maybe Stun Diabolic Edict would be a little bit more useful. You're going to be more likely to get kills. Fast gank on the top lane. Lich probably going to die. Yes, really easy kill on Lich. So they're on the board, but I feel like Diabolic Edict would be a little bit better for pushing very shortly here.
That's definitely the case. Maybe they were a little bit afraid that they're going to be doing a lot of dives, and when creeps are involved, Diabolic Edict might do a lot less damage when the creeps are tanking it up. But Diabolic definitely has this use. When you do successfully get a gank, you kill a creep wave. Generally with that, you could do massive amount of damage and kill a tower as well. You know, we do have a nice Dark group going on KYKX. He should be fine given that he does have Hex. Of course, Shackle as well. So top tower getting a little bit pressured upon by the Dire team, but really no real damage. So 6 minutes in, 4-1 leading by the Neolution team. And once this Knight's gonna, you know, be well on the way, Night Stalker is gonna add to that lead.
And he does finally have his bottle. He's going to find a double damage rune on the bot. Definitely a really good pickup for a fast item here. He is level 6. He hasn't quite picked up his ulti yet, but it's not really worth it. If you're a little bit under leveled here and it's already nighttime, just pick up an extra level Hunter in the night. It's going to give you a little bit of bonus. It's going to clear out the mid creep wave. There's nobody mid to gank. There's nobody bot to gank. And that's always really sad when you pick up a really good rune like that on the Night Stalker. You're just looking for those opportunities. It doesn't look like he's quite ready. Just swing to the top lane and go for a kill up there.
Yep. I want to point out, interesting that he did not actually pick up Artificial Night. If you cast Artificial Night during nighttime, well, it extends, pause the clock and extend the night. I hope you got that top, because I totally missed that.
Dang it.
Okay. But yeah, by skipping his ultimate 6, he's probably going to skip it at level 7 as well, maxing his voice. So he's not going to have his Artificial Night. And that is actually going to shorten his nighttime for quite a bit. It does make a big deal. And I'm surprised that that was a skill choice he chose.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It is about, what, 25-second duration. The cooldown is obscenely huge, so it's basically like planning ahead for later. And there's going to be an initiating online, and here comes the lightning. It's actually going to be useful there. Ends up being enough to burst online. So as a two-man ganking combo, lightning's going to pay off in situations like that. But unfortunately for the Radiant team, those wards ended up getting the tower anyways, including a last hit for Shadow Shaman, which is the bonus 250 gold approximately.
Right. The tower... the hero kill score is still definitely in the lead of Neolution. I feel like MUFC is being too sloppy. These ganks are a little bit too easy. Ganks are happening with 3 heroes missing off the map. Even without the wards, I think you should be a little bit more careful if you're in the MUFC shoes. But of course, we are seeing the entire map, but they are probably not seeing the entire map. So, of course, map awareness, a little bit. It's easy for us to call, hey, well, you know, you should watch the map. But, hey.
Yeah. There's always so many other things that you have to think about. It really does become difficult. Communicating with your allies, worrying about getting last hits, worrying about positioning, planning ahead, things like that. It can be quite difficult. And Night Stalker actually going to pick up a really fast phase boots here, which is a very interesting item build. Almost always we see Night Stalkers opt, of course, for phase or treads, but usually getting a fast earn as well. And he just went straight for the phase boots. He doesn't even care.
Yep, dive is going to be his plan because, well, when you're running past towers, so many creeps get in your way. You don't ever want to get creep blocked. You know, MUFC picks up a bot kill with a good TP from the Lion, of course, also a TP from the Furion, and they definitely needed that one. They need way more than that. And the thing about Sven and Lesh, as they roam around and they get the levels through the kills, they are going to slow down at one point. They will have difficulty in terms of catching up in terms of EXP. So pulling yourself ahead in terms of EXP any way you can will pull you ahead. And personally, support Sven is probably my personal hatred, because I kind of predict 10 minutes into this game, 20 minutes into the game, excuse me, this Sven is going to be useless. He's going to just one Stormbolt and he's done.
Yeah, basically is going to be the case. I mean, you can always look at the fact that he has a double damage, but even still, he's a melee hero who doesn't have a lot of farm as a result. We're going to see Smoke on the Sven and the Leshrac. They're going to be looking for another gank here. I mean, if they can keep ganking the enemy carries or shutting down heroes like Shadow Shaman and stuff like that, getting a couple chain stuns off on these weak support heroes with big disables, it can make a big difference. I mean, maybe they're just going to swing to the top jungle even. But it looks like their goal is going to be online, and finally we'll see if Night Stalker makes something happen. The Split Earth is going to actually land on him. And will they just dive? I assume they will. Wow, a little bit of a misplay there by the Radiant team.
I think Line just edged out into that Stormbolt, out of this Stormbolt range, and the phase boot definitely being helpful there. Picks up a lucky haste as well, and he's gonna swing bot, but he's gonna run straight into Lesh. Maybe if he does have the Finger of Death, which he does have the mana for as well, gonna go for the Sven. A Finger and a Impale, gonna do the job. No, he's gonna just save the Finger, but that might be his death. No, just really nice control here. A lot of players would just blow the Finger of Death right then and there. And you might be thinking, well, why is that a big deal? That means he could set up another gank later on once he has some mana to do so. So really good control by TFG.
Yeah, that was definitely very close. If he didn't get that last hit, Sven would have landed the first stun, possibly escaped with follow-up by Leshrac. But yeah, just like you said, really, really good control there. He's going to slowly regen back up. Night Stalker's going to do a little bit of damage. I cannot believe that. Has Night Stalker even gotten a kill yet?
No, he's just farming.
I think this is a ridiculous mistake. Picked up the phase boots even. He should be off trying to get kills, man.
And right now, Neolution getting completely out of position. Dual kills going to Vengeful Spirit. Here comes a Night Stalker, but he is surrounded by 4. There's a Sprout here. Magic Missile is going to hit Bottom doing the right click. Not too much DPS, but this Night Stalker is so very tank at this point. Stormbolt grabbing 3, and here comes Night Stalker turning around. KYKX very low, gets earned up, and they don't have the mana right now. The only reason that the Night Stalker survived, despite being so out of position, was because there's no arrow, there was no Starfall from the bottom. And Night Stalker lived to see another night.
Yeah, and,
like that? Like that pun?
That was really good.
That was perfect.
I'm pretty
3
impressed.
a.m. in the morning.
So yeah, Neolution with a big advantage, giving up on a lot of things. MUFC, I've seen them do this before where they get behind at the start of the game and then they just absolutely start dominating with superior teamwork. And the basic points that I want to point out is the fact that Slardar got ganked twice immediately, one time after another on the bot lane, despite getting a lot of early kills. Now they're going to jump on the line in the mid lane. He's absolutely screwed. Nothing he can do about escaping. Lich, unfortunately, kill-stealing that with one very powerful auto attack. But Night Stalker didn't gank in the mid game, and that's ridiculous. They were literally relying on all of their early advantage based on the Sven Leshrac combo, and Night Stalker should have been contributing to that giant kill lead.
Yep. A difference between what we saw in Yamate's perfect play. Stormbolt goes on. The Venge gonna get split earth, and that is gonna be easy kill. They are gonna get kills like that if the guys are out of position, like Vengeful Spirit was, and got picked off. But I was saying the big difference between Yamate's perfect Night Stalker play and Nick's play right here is that, of course, Nick not ganking enough, but also the Radiant team don't have any rune control. I think that was like the 3rd or 4th rune being picked up by the Dire team. And that might not sound like a big deal, but when the Radiant team was winning by so much, that shouldn't even happen. Now we do see yet another gank on the line, but teleport support gonna come in not soon enough. Vengeful Spirit barely making it in just to see the tail of that Slardar as he darts out.
Dude, that is a scary ganking combo. Night Stalker and a Slardar, man. That's everything you need to just destroy somebody. Amp damage, really bonusing some of the phase boot damage that Night Stalker's getting, and not to mention you can just slow fear stun. That is rough, man. Nothing that line could have done there, except for maybe a really early split earth and try to catch them with the utmost range of that stun.
Right, that didn't happen though. So one thing that I do like of what MUFC is doing, and they are getting a decent amount of levels on their Vengeful Spirit on whoever, like it seems like they're dividing their levels between all their players, and that is going to be key thing. Again, once we hit 20 minutes, 25 minutes, Ven and Lesh will just fall behind. But if you have a big enough Venge, if you have big enough Furion, they can keep up and give themselves a little bit more room in terms of maybe coming back in this game. They are down by 2 kills, and if I pull down the gold menu, it is Dire leading. Can you believe that? I don't believe it. This is bug.
I don't know. I think that makes sense to me.
They grab the extra towers, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do have 2 towers down. Nature's Prophet's been in the jungle almost all game. We're going to see wards go down. Sven's going to take some damage. I mean, Sven and Lesh have basically been roaming all game. They haven't had a lot of chance to farm. Night Stalker's been farming. Lich has been doing okay, but, I mean, Rasta has a Blink Dagger, and I didn't see that coming at all. Wow. But he has it, man. And there's a stun on the Vengeful Spirit. He's going to take a nuke. No Chain Frost. He's actually out of mana there. And it looks like Vengeful Spirit's going to end up surviving. But the wards are all gone. The tower gets destroyed. Did that get denied? Did you see?
No, it didn't.
It did not get denied. And then Lion and Nature's Prophet picking off Slardar on the top lane. And they don't even have a kill advantage. They're just farming better. and they're pushing towers, understandably, but it's not like they've been really doing extreme push efforts, in my opinion, you know? It's just kind of like they take towers.
Yeah, they just kind of waltz in and be like, okay, well, there's a free one here, and let's just take it.
Yeah.
There's no big engagement going for those team fights. The smoke goes on for the Dire. They're looking for someone. I think a lot of lesser teams being ganked up by a Night Stalker, Slardar, a roaming Sven, Lesh, they kind of just are like, okay, let's buckle down and try to farm our way back in this game. MUFC says, we have a gank lineup. Let's out-gank them. And they're going to smoke up. They're going to find themselves as Sven. This Sven doesn't even know what hit him.
Yeah, that was rough, man. Using a couple abilities, just Starfalls, a few stuns. They basically just spent a little chunk of mana just for the easy kill there, and Sven with only a Bracer and a Belt of Giant Strength. Unfortunately, you only get so much gold from ganking, so they definitely had a really good early game. But MUFC pulls this out, man. Just such good teamwork and good coordination, using Nature's Prophet for ganks. He is still farming. I want to look at the gold per minute primarily, and that is going to convince us. Lion actually second highest gold per minute on the Dire team, 322. Shadow Shaman at 341, which explains his Blink Dagger. And Nature's Prophet just below 300 as well. Even Vengeful Spirits at 180. He's beating 3 of the Radiant teams in farm, or 3 of the Radiant players in farm.
Those 3 towers definitely really key thing. One thing we have seen is, yes, Radiant is getting those ganks, but they're not really transitioning into any pushes, and that goes back to what you were talking about earlier. Not having Diabolic Edict won't give you that option to do so. Wards gets dropped down, and of course Stormbolt scares everyone away. Wards get destroyed, pushes is done, and it looks like MUFC is going to back off. But yeah, Radiant team not pushing any towers, and that's going to, you know, put them behind.
Yeah, definitely. And they lost a couple towers. Like we said, they weren't really that heavily defended. And that's going to make all the difference. Slardar actually has a Blink Dagger finish. This could make a little bit of a impact on the next team fight, especially if they did not spot him while he was sprinting to the bot lane. I'm sure they know he's on the way there. But did they notice that he has a Blink Dagger? Just a naked Blink Dagger treads with a Stout Shield. He doesn't have any kind of mana regen. He's going to be hopping into these team fights. Do we even have Arcane Boots? I don't think anybody has an Arcane Boot on the Radiant team. And if he can initiate, it'll be good. But
I don't think mana regen is gonna be an issue, because he's gonna blinking, he's gonna stun. Either he dies. Yeah, he's not gonna have a mana issue because he won't have time to use his mana. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, they do have a lot of disable still.
Right. I'm thinking here. Do you like the Blink Dagger play here from the Slaughter, or do you he should have gone for something like a Vanguard for a little bit more tanky? Because Scourge does nuke really hard.
Well, if he goes for a Black King bar immediately after this, I think it's the Fast Blink Dagger is definitely going to be superior. I don't necessarily like a Vanguard on Slardar always, and since they have so much disable, I feel like it's kind of a waste in that sense. So I think in this case, a Blink Dagger is going to be superior, because they can always catch people out of position, especially when they're pushing. There's going to be a lot of grouping, and that's going to allow him to get a better stun off. One other item I want to point out, Lion also has a Blink Dagger in the game. Lots of Blink Daggers here. Lion's going to pick up the invisibility, and he's going to get 1 nuke there, but he's going to be absolutely fine. So a lot of Blink Daggers in this game. It's going to be some high movement battles.
Yep, another room being controlled by MUFC, and this is... And right now we do see Neolution. They are sticking together time and time after game. This looks like he's gonna go for the Lich Blink Impale Finger. TFG, too fucking good.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say.
Dude, I love doing that with Lion. It is so enjoyable. Just blink ulti killing somebody. I did that against a Techies game once. It was so satisfying. Just killing people before they realize what happens. And then you say, I'm just going to burn my cooldown, I'm going to wait 80 seconds, and I'm going to do this over and over again. And it's going to be awesome. And it's really, really effective.
And guess what? That Lesh and that Lich, they ain't gaining any extra HP. They are always within that kill range. So Lion always able to find those people. So Lion really doing pretty good now with the Blink Dagger, with the treads done as well. He could go for even more dominating items. Let's just picking up, let's say, a 4-staff. He could go back to a little bit more utility play, picking up a Django for his teammates. We will have to wait and see. Meanwhile, the MUFC is just farming all over the map right now. Furion has been non-stop farming. His Midas been used every single cooldown. Potom finally getting some farm on the top lane. He has picked up a Yasha after treads. So it's actually looking pretty decent for MUFC, despite going into the game with like a 1-4 disadvantage.
Yeah, Potom a little underfarmed compared to the rest of the allies on her team, but that's because she got killed so many times on that bot lane. Nature's Prophet really farmed though, up to 115 CS. He's got Mech earned, going to be pushing like crazy, and the Hand of Midas, which is going to get him towards that major support item like the Sheepstick, or probably going to be a Sheepstick. I would be really surprised if he got anything else other than that. Maybe an Aghanims, but I'd be very surprised. And once again, Night Stalker continuing to farm. He picks up the Mithril Hammer. He's going for the fast Black King bar. 20 minutes in here, but he still doesn't have it. And he still does not have, or he's got 1 kill. 1 kill and 2 assists. He's been farming all game, and we've said it before, but it's so important that he hasn't got any, not nearly enough kills.
Yeah, I personally feel that Night Stalker is a very momentum-based hero. I mean, you could farm your way to some big items, but it does not equate you getting 3 kills. I'd rather if you have less farm, but 3 more kills in the game. It just shows that you have a bigger presence. It makes, I mean, psychologically, when you have a Night Stalker in the enemy team and he has a big streak and it's nighttime, what do? You're like, oh shoot, I need to hide. I need to run away. I can't farm in this lane. But that's not the case. So MUFC farming all over the map. They are pushing another tower that's basically free. Another lack of engagement. Sven bravely runs in. I don't know what the heck he's trying to accomplish, but throughout all of this, I feel like Neolution heroes, they are just holding each other's hands in the jungle and not accomplishing anything. And they're falling behind in terms of gold and EXP now.
Yeah, and immediately MUFC backs off, pops the smoke. They had everything planned out here. Take the top tower, then we're going to run over to the Roshan. They're not going to see it coming. There are even a Sentry Ward up by the Radiant team, but they're not going to get spotted because of that smoke. They're going to roll right in. There's the wards. There is the neutral creeps, or the Treants, sorry. And auto-attacking will suffice. Roshan will drop shortly, and then they're going to go take out the last tower probably and go for a Rax attempt.
Yep. Right now, they do have every kind of big component they need. They do have the Mecha, they have the Urn for mana regeneration. Arcane Boots, a little bit lacking. I feel like Vengeful Spirit might have been able to pick up one, but Rasa does have one, so I guess you have one going. Actually, the Aegis ends up on the Rasa, which is really nice because I feel like he's such an annoying hero that you want to focus him in down, but he's going to come back with multiple hexes and shackles, and his cooldowns will allow him to do so right now. Lying very dangerously near that Sentry Ward, but luckily it's going to back off.
Yeah, I would love to see Shadow Shaman go for a Black King bar after this. He still is going to need another 1,600 gold or so until he ends up picking that up, and especially against heroes like Sven and Leshrac, if he can just break that initiation chain, even burning Sven's stun on himself with a Black King bar would be really, really big on the impact of the team fight. And obviously they do have a lot more farm than them. Maybe somebody going for a pipe after would basically seal the deal here, but since Shadow Shaman and Lion have Blink Daggers, the initiation and the chain disable on anybody that gets slightly out of position is going to be pretty ridiculous.
Yep. Right now we do see Slaughter trying to farm. He's going to go for BKB. Ogre X on his stash. Black King bar is finished on the Night Stalker. This is the middle of the night, so are we finally going to see some engagement? This bot tower again picked off without any fight. Glyph is popped, and here comes the Night Stalker. He does have the BKB. Can we at least get a deny? No, we are... Come on. Anyone? Okay. Wow.
That is pretty amazing. Slaughter gets picked off immediately. Vengeful Spirit taking some hits. The Black King bar is on the Night Stalker. Chainfrost doing a lot of damage actually. Diabolic Lead coming through, but it's only level 1. Lion just about to get picked off. He needs to blink away. He's got 3 seconds. No, he runs away from the Diabolic Edict. The Courier is just hanging out, and did everybody live? 4 heroes dead for the Radiant team. Night Stalker is still alive, and what I said a while about, Lion blinks in, attacks once, tries to kill the tower, attacks the tower, tries to kill it, blinks away, it did not die, and then the catapult gets the deny after like a full second. Nobody on the Radiant team denied that tower, and I was absolutely flabbergasted.
I was so flabbergasted I just stopped casting. I was like, Purge, you take this, because I'm speechless.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say either for a while. I was like, how did that happen? How did they not deny that tower? It was like Lion was literally committing to getting that last hit, and then he messed it up. He didn't do enough damage, and then the catapult, another hero catapult, man. How many hero catapults are we gonna see?
Theme of the day here. And I just want to say, I'm surprised that Chainfrost did so much damage, but yet no one died from the Dire team. I could only contribute the fact that they are higher level, that they are tankier, and that's because there was such a lack of ganking. I feel if you're gonna farm, don't pick Night Stalker to do it. Don't pick Slaughter to do it, because C0, there are better farmers in the game. And I feel like Night Stalker is playing like a role like an anti-mage, which, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it should not be happening.
Yeah.
There's always going to be better carries. And they will be... No, actually, Priest has been backing up. I don't know if he had vision. It was nighttime, so I'm guessing not. Maybe just had some Spider Sense. Vengeful Spirit, oh, Invisible, running through the entire enemy team. Up to 1k gold, and Line as well. Picking up a Void Stone. Actually, he's going to go for a Yule Scepter. Pretty cool stuff. Going to use the old Yules against the Night Stalker. I'm assuming that's what that's going to be for, at least. Either Night Stalker or that Slardar. Just keep them up in the air and deal with all those squishier support heroes, and then go on those harder to kill strength heroes after.
Yep. Mana regen for Line, definitely a pretty good thing. I mean, a lot of times after a team fight, after a Finger of Death, you're pretty much done because your mana pool is completely expended by that high mana cost of the Finger of Death. But with the mana regen and also with the extra plus 25 speed that Yules grant you, you can keep up, get off multiple hexes, get off multiple impales, and they make a big deal in a chasing team fight, especially against quick heroes such as Night Stalker and Slaughter. So I do like his choice. BKB is going to be the item choice for Sharky, and now, I mean, I don't feel like Potom is doing enough damage to really warrant a BKB at this point of the game, but she's going to tack on more and more items as it goes along, and BKB is going to allow her to survive and get those items. So it's a decent team fight item choice, but I think Mantisau might be a little bit better. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, you're right. She's not doing that much damage. It's going to basically keep her alive in team fights. She's probably not going to die. The only case where I could see her dying is probably maybe Night Stalker, Fear Void with stun follow-ups, or if Slardar blinked in. But I guess Slardar could still do that with a Black King bar if the reaction time is a little slow. So in some ways I think it's a little weird, but it does still give damage. I think it's just a choice, you know. I think it works.
It's safe. It's safe.
Yeah. So you won't take Chain Frost. That's cool.
Cool, yeah. I mean, it was bouncing ridiculously much on the last team fight. So again, I feel like a broken record, but Neolution, they are best friends. They hold hands. Always 4 heroes on the same screen, which is nice. That means you're not getting ganked, but right now, MUFC says we don't need to gank you because we will actually out-farm you with our ganking team because you guys are not farming at all. So they'll take that. Sharky finds the Sven and looks like he's pinging like crazy. Hero's going to be swarming in all sides and they might actually get a kill. Yeah, Sharky's going to go for a solo kill on Marsh and leaping in for the block. Nice.
That was really good. And unfortunately for Sven there, as they initiated, he cast a stun on creeps. There's 0 chance of him surviving that pretty much. Absolutely got screwed over. And here's an easy tower. How many easy towers are they going to get? One more added to their roster. Oh, don't even need a catapult to finish this one off. I think they're just going to auto-attack it. Leshrac will cast his lightning only... How is he only level 8? That blows my mind a little bit. But this tower will go down very shortly. The attack damage of these heroes is just too good. Vengeful Spirit actually picking up a Gem of True Sight already. Looked like he just ran past and did a little dewarding, but the last tower falls, and now we're going to see some Rax pressure.
Yep, I'm telling you, man, Sven and Lesh gonna be useless 20 minutes into the game, and we're way past that point. Lesh at this point is just basically finger bait for the... Oh, that sounds so wrong, but hey, you guys know what I mean. The Treant comes in, the wards on the tower really low. Glyph is on cooldown, Stormbolts just to use to defend. Here comes the Night Stalker with the BKB. Let's see how much he can do. Wow, Slaughter blinks in as well. Chusun, and there's a Chain Frost. Creep coming at the opportune time, but I think MUFC might have overextended themselves. Immediate buyback from the Prophet, and they are going to TP right in. Potom with the BKB is going to be alive. She leaps out, Line really low. He does not have the Aegis. Rasa does have the Aegis, so he's going to be okay as well. And looks like Neolution successful defenses despite with all their HP dangerously low.
Yeah, their HP is stupidly low. All because of Sven initiating with a stun that landed on both squishy heroes. I believe that was both a Lion and Vengeful Spirit, I believe. Scoring 2 of those, Night Stalker took the opportunity, and I think that was a really good play there by Neolution, all because of that good Sven stun. So on the bright side, they have a lot of AoE stuns. It's just tough to land them on multiple heroes, especially when they all have so many Blink Daggers. You know, it's rough, but I don't know. They did lose the tower there, so they did get a tower kill despite losing like 4 heroes.
I think that was more or less on the fault of MUFC's making a blunder than really.
I would agree.
Yeah, but after that blunder, we did lose the Aegis on the roster. We did lose a Furion life and also force a buyback. So that definitely will slow down his Hex attempt. So that's pretty good. And Lesh gets a kill on the line on top lane with the help of his entire team. So they're making some headway, and looks like they might edge into that tower lead by taking the first tower on the top lane. It is 30 minutes in, It might be late, but they are going to get something.
And in the meantime, the bot lane naturally pushing here. Will we see a Furion TP? He's actually going to... No, that's somebody else TPing. Vengeful Spirit going to the top lane. A lot of MUFC going to the top lane. They defend every one of their towers, apparently. Sven will ulti this. I don't know if they're going to engage. They do pop the glyph. Here comes the arrow. It's going to land on the Leshrac. That is pretty much... Wow, the ulti from Nature's Prophet did so much damage. Lesh goes down. Wards landing on the Night Stalker. And a couple auto attacks on Slardar. Slardar getting absolutely destroyed as a result of Sprint. There's the Blink Finger. And Night Stalker will be the last to drop. The Lightning picks him off. And 4 losses. The tower gets destroyed by wards, but who cares at that point?
No, Hero Siege weapons.
Man. Is that what they
did? That was the Hero Siege, because no one cares about denying towers, apparently.
Yeah, and you're right, it was not killed by Hero, so it must have been Hero Siege.
So that's legit stuff. But here we go, MUFC going right the other way. We are in early enough game where the respawn time will bring them back. But Prophet, really good job pushing the equilibrium on the mid lane. And it looks like this mid tower will be siege. Sven does not have his ultimate. Night Stalker. Oh, there's Chain Frost, there's Slaughter, but they are 16 seconds away, and that's all the time that MUFC needs to bring down this mid Rax.
Yeah, I think they might be able to get a Rax or maybe a tower pass. I know the glyph is actually going to buy them some good time. Sven will stun on here on those support heroes, of course, going around on the Vengeful Spirit. And Lightning doing some decent damage. Most of the creeps are dead, and this is the time to drop the Chain Frost, man. But are they going to chase? They're going to back off. MUFC playing really, really carefully here. Take your advantage or run. Don't chance your obscene advantage. Despite only being 7 kills up on Neolution, they definitely have a giant advantage. I'm scared to look at the gold graph. 15k and climbing. Very, very steady growth there in their favor.
Yep, checking some of the item progression, we do see BKB still is the only item for that Priestess. Of course, she does have a couple gold in the bank. That buyback did hurt the Prophet a little bit, so he doesn't have too much of item. And it looks like the Lion did buy back in that last team fight as well, so still no Eel Scepter. Gem and Bracer is going to be the item choice for Vengeful Spirit, and Rasa adding a Staff of Wizardry to his BKB and Blink Dagger. So not many actual big item progressions. From MUFC, I think they are using it for buybacks to kind of solidify their mid-game advantage. I think what they really want to do right now is wait for the second incarnation of Roshan. It's up, so they could easily grab it, in my opinion, and then just go for the GG push.
Yeah, and there's the ping from Shadow Shaman right on the Roshan. It looks like that's where they're headed. No wards up in position either. There is one Radiant forward ward on the upper hill and a little bit by the mid lane, but...
Using the Soyburn wards for this. Oh
wow, really? I feel like that's a little bit of a waste. Treants are on cooldown, I guess, unless he ended up misclicking. Yeah, he did spawn the mid and then went to... We have a disconnect from Lion, so we're going to wait till he reconnects here. I don't know if his computer crashed or what, but yeah, you're right. He did have to pop those Serpent wards. Not quite enough tank to go around, so they had to kill it pretty fast there.
Hex is finished on the Prophet, so that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much a dual BKB up on the Rasa Potom. Let's have a quick look on what Radiant's got in terms of items. BKB is the kind of the shining item on the Night Stalker, but that's... I'm going down the list, and that's it. Yeah. The only thing they really have that I really wish that the the Dire team would have one is the Django of Endurance, because the extra mobility is nothing to ignore. Of course, Starter's been trying to finish his Black King bar for a long time, but he's been dying pretty much every single fight. So he's almost there, but not enough.
Yeah, it is so hard at times to play a Slardar without a Black King bar. You pop your sprint and all of a sudden you take 15% more damage, and it really can make a big difference in a team fight where things are pretty equal. You have to be really, really choicey when you end up activating that ability, because if you take a couple magic nukes, it can really spell the difference between you surviving and you dying.
Yep. And right now we're seeing 3 hexes up on the Dire team, and I mean... Yeah, that's why all the BKBs are being purchased, or trying to be purchased, because if you don't have that, you're going to be in trouble. Venge is going to rock right into... what is this, like 18th Invis Rune on the Dire team? Because That's going to set them up. No, Blink Dagger out from the Slaughter, and that's going to be the end. Of course, the mid lane is slowly pushing in with the Equilibrium, and of course, top lane with Furion is going to push in as well. So I guess what MUFC is waiting for is both the mid and top to push in a little bit, and then engage. So no matter what happens on the bot lane, the mid and the top for the Radiant team is going to sustain a little bit of tower damage.
Yeah, that's definitely the best way to do it. Still one ranged barracks up on the mid lane. But that's going to constantly require a little bit of attention. Leshrac, level 10 currently. I really don't like their... I mean, we talked about this earlier about how Leshrac was optionally a bad decision. Shadow Shaman actually going to be initiated on with this Force Staff. He may have to pop his BKB to survive here. He doesn't have a TP scroll either. And there's the pop. They forced... Both teams forced each other's Black King bar off there, which is going to be a bigger disadvantage, I think, for the Radiant team with that Night Stalker, not having that.
Right, I think, I mean, even if Rasa has 1 less second on his BKB, he doesn't have to deal with 3 hexes from the enemy team, so that's an issue. And it looks like Pada might be in trouble. That's a wrong target to focus, because she does have the BKB. She also has a Aegis, and the team fight's gonna break out here. Manta Padam doing a little bit of right-click damage. Still no, there's a Chain Frost bouncing nicely, but the Treant's gonna take a lot of damage. It looks like we do have Radiant team on full retreat. Ward gets dropped, Treant on that Rax tower. And I think MUFC is going to power through here with 2 guys dead for the Radiant.
Yeah, this could be a dual Rax probably. They'll finish up the mid lane immediately after this one drops. And Nature's Prophet actually in TP at the top lane. They're going to probably maybe even be able to take down 2 sets of Rax, plus the last tower arrow comes through. Cleans up the Sven as well. Slaughter initiates, but he's immediately disabled. And with the Shackles as well, that's going to be a good game, I'm pretty sure. Going to see a triple Rax immediately get cleaned up. Top Rax is almost done, or the top tower is almost done.
Yep.
And MUFC just really great teamwork in this game.
Yeah, I think that kind of what we said in the pick stage. Radiant team really tank. If MUFC is gonna win, they have to outplay basically with the mobile lineup, with a very stun heavy lineup, and they just really took advantage of Neolution. Neolution was farming, and MUFC says we will outfarm you, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, they really did outfarm them. Like I was saying before about the Leshrac pick, if you're going to pick up a Leshrac and do like a roaming role like that as a support hero, you really need to worry about the mid game. And Leshrac doesn't scale nearly as well as Lina does. At least Lina gets like that big 500 damage nuke or 650 damage nuke at level 6. And that's, unless you're going to go for the early pushing, you should probably never pick up Leshrac over Lina in a situation like that.
And overall, Lina is just a hotter hero, so
yeah, that's
no
true.
Discussion. Yeah, after that.
Unless you're into, you know, animal stuff.
Unless you're into some old dude and also animal stuff.
Exactly. So much blinking, man. It's awesome.
Yep, MUFC gonna destroy the drone, and they are evading elimination for now.
Yeah, they definitely deserve that win. That is for darn sure. MUFC playing very good. I think you're definitely right. I mean, every time I see them play, it always reminds me how good their organization is. They're always thinking a step ahead. Like, tower dies, they immediately smoke, go Roshan. They don't, like, stand around for 10 seconds and say, hey guys, come stand next to me, I need to go Roshan. They just make everything happen so well.
Yep.
Alright guys, don't go anywhere. We have one more game to cast tonight before we have to part ways forever tonight. Until tomorrow night, of course. We have lots more games tomorrow. So once again, this was MUFC versus Neolution. This was the quarterfinals, I believe, of the loser bracket. And we still have another quarterfinal game to cast tonight. And I think that's it. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back in just a second.